Daniel 5:5 is a supernatural Bible story that everyone needs to read. Christian, non-Christians. It's one of my favorites, and it's a great story. And this story is where the expression, the writing on the wall, comes from. And your days are numbered. It's those two are tied together here in this story in Daniel 5:5. So what happened? So there was Daniel, a prophet. This is the book of Daniel, and there was a king, and his name was Belshazzar. And Belshazzar was a king in Babylon. And Babylon was pagan, as probably most people know. And there was a party, and there was allegedly about 1,000 people there, kings and lords and concubines and wives, and they were partying. They were drinking wine from these holy vessels that were pillaged from a temple in Jerusalem, these gold and silver vessels. And according to Daniel 5:1 and 2. And so these vessels basically they were using them to offer praise to pagan gods in these holy vessels. And I think everyone knows Babylon was sinful, but I think this is the final straw for God. And because they mix elements of worship with God with pagan practice, they combine truth with error. It says that it brought immediate response from God amid sacrilege and revelry. It basically brought the festivities to a halt. It says in the same hour, this is in Daniel 5:5, in the same hour, the fingers of a man's hand appeared and wrote opposite the lampstand on the plaster on the wall of the king's palace, and the king saw part of what the hand wrote. So that's the writing on the wall, the handwriting on the wall. That's where it originated from. And apparently the king was so troubled by it that his hips were loosened in his joints, and his knees knocked each other, according to Daniel 5:6. And he had a guilty conscience, and he was desperate for an interpretation, and he called on Daniel to interpret this. And Daniel was blunt, and he told him exactly what it said in his interpretation. And the interpretation was, God has numbered your kingdom, i.e., your days are numbered. God has numbered your kingdom and finished it. You have weighed in the balances and found wanting. Your kingdom has been divided and given to Medes and Persians. And after that, Babylon fell. It was taken over by Medo-Persians. They overthrew the city. So that was the final straw for God. And so the handwriting was on the wall, and the days of his kingdom were numbered after that. And I don't know how soon it fell thereafter, but it's one of the more interesting stories. I mean, the Bible is loaded. I mean, not to say that it's not all fascinating, but it's a supernatural story for sure. And why do I talk about it today? Not only because it's a great supernatural story, but also because we are living in a time of Babylonian sort of consequences and behaviors. We're living in a time where the handwriting's on the wall, and if people can't see it, wake up, because all of our days are numbered, including the Earth's. And the oceans are 90 degrees Fahrenheit in Florida, and the temperatures are scorching. And California, apparently crops are underwater, might be 10 years. So we're going to have more food shortages. The writing's on the wall. So get right with God. Like the prodigal son story, he wants sons and daughters to come back to him. He will forgive pretty much anything, unless you've mixed enough and sacrificed enough people in your life, and you've gone far enough. I don't know. I don't know anyone's story, but I just heard one survivor talking about, if people have drank enough blood and done enough evil, who knows how far people have gone, but God forgives a lot. God even forgives murder. So our days are numbered. We don't know the time of our days, but the days are fast approaching. We're approaching the tribulation. You do not want to live through 7 years of tribulation. God promised not to flood again, so the next thing coming is fire. And I promise you, you don't want to live in this time that's coming. So get right with God, read the word, and be blessed.